and traded the FMOC. So I kind of stepped back and enjoyed the profits for the day. But tomorrow, I think tomorrow we're gonna have a really, I would expect we're gonna have a moving day, right? So this is, if you guys recall from Sunday night, I said that we're most likely gonna have 3 trend days this week. So we had one Monday, Tuesday we consolidated. Today we had a trend day, I would call it. And then tomorrow or Friday is going to be fireworks. I'm expecting that they're going to go back to back. But if they don't, then Friday is probably a little bit of fireworks for the whole market. Okay, so looking at this, any surprises here by anyone on the profile?
No, it includes the trend days and the balance area.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was, from when I look at it post the action, I think it was fairly straightforward, right? If you guys recall, and we talked about this on Sunday, what did I say they had to do on these single prints? Do you guys recall? You guys recall what I said here? You guys don't? On the weekly profile, we said that the 31 and 32 were what? You guys are.
Those are CPOC.
I'm trying to think.
So 31, if you remember, this was our previous week value area high. So let's just delete it all and make sure you guys are on the same page. Let's see, we'll go PVP. We'll go first weekly just for the purpose of explaining. And then we'll switch to 65 minutes. We'll hit the max and hopefully turn on that PVP. So we talked about this, that this was our, remember we had the 2-day balance that was here. You guys recall this when I talked about this? Let's kind of rewind. We said that this was a 2-day balance. So if I turn on the SVP, this is going to be turned on. And we said, hey, we ran from this, but I said there's this breakout was not very good because there was an overlapping value, right? That means that there's probably there's no new money coming in on this breakout. Because if it was not new money, we should have a lot of single prints running away from the value, right? When you have emotional buyers, right, or initiative buyers, this profile should have been a lot thinner here, right? And when you take out that overlap, pretty much 50% of the previous 2-day balance, that's not good. When you're breaking out, you shouldn't be revisiting deep into the balance that you're breaking out from. Does that make sense logically? If I'm not happy with the price, why am I going so deep into the medium of that price to make sure it's still there? What they needed to do here, so when they broke out, they had a weak breakout. That's what we said last time. Then you look at this on a weekly profile, right? Where's your weekly value area high? Well, it's sitting here, right? And then we also had on this day, do you guys recall, we had single prints on this breakout? On Monday, we had a bunch of single prints that started at 45 and a quarter and to 32 and a half, and we can check, but these are just numbers from my head. Let's see. So far, if this is our balance, we broke out, you need to defend this. If you need to defend it. And I even said, if you don't defend this, high chance you hit the POC, but then what's the 80% rule? I said these words verbatim. There's a high chance you're going to go here. And I mean, pretty much they gave you a few opportunities, I would say, to go there. If you think about this, right, if this is your value area high, they broke this, and then I guess the FMOC here right before or right after. Did he speak at 2:30, right, or 2:15? I don't know what time he comes on.
It was 2:00.
I think 2:00 they released the notes. Did he not speak to it?
2:30.
Yes, he did 2:30.
Okay, so usually it's one move is fake, right? I would say, and this was your fake move, and then they could not break the previous week value area high, and that was a really good short, I would say. And I even posted this morning on ES, the 30 was a really good short. I think shorting ES there was good. You can find it in the chat. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere. Let's see. well, regardless, I'm not gonna go back, but this was the level that they had to crack, and obviously they did not have it. And then I think a lot of people started buying this, but think about what happens, right? If this is our value area high right here, let me go on 65 minutes, so that's real. If this is our value area high and we are not able to crack and build value above, and then you crack inside, if you're a seller that emptied out your inventory here, where's the most likely that you try to find value?
If you're a seller at the bottom,
So
buy
first
more, you
goal is
mean?
to go here, yeah. And if you wanted the extreme, you would watch to buy at this level because this would be the extreme value area low. And people that shorted overnight here, that's a problem. Because should you short below the value area low of something like this when it's so close? When you think about this, I mean, are we far from value area low right now?
No, we're really close.
Oh, you're not that far, right? And when you think about the prior week profile, right? And we talked about even this. If you think about this level here, it has the POC. I don't know if you guys recall when we highlighted it. So let's extend this here. So this becomes a decent buy zone. It's the POC, the value area high. There's a lot going on in this area. But either way, you did not go too far away from the value on this sell-off. So now when you think about this, and they've done this before, just go back and see what they did before on a bigger scale. Pay attention to this square here. I would say that this was our, I'm just going to use these to make it easier for myself. This here and this right here, would you say that that was our range for this box? You guys see it?
Yep.
This was the right. What did they do here? I would
They
say
trapped.
they dipped it below and everybody piled in. And look, they piled in again at the, is there a large volume node here? Not
Yep.
really. I mean, this is not a large volume node. This
No, it looks small.
But there's a node there.
I said
Yeah, but
large.
it's not high volume.
And I said large. There is a volume node, right? And that's where they bounced, right?
Yes.
But the point being is when you have low volume nodes, why are the low volume nodes there?
Is that where the big boys are?
So when are the low volume nodes created? When you think about market profile, are they created on the uptrend? You want to see,
Pull back.
well, you want to see P shape. You don't want to see value here, and you want to see right here what happens. This becomes all LVN. This becomes your low volume node, which means all the emotional buyers are here.
Yeah.
And it could be that there are some institutional aggressive buyers called imbalance in our world of footprints. So when you try to short something that's like this and you don't know where this is, what happens? Let me tell you what happens. People were like, oh man, this is a gap. I see no volume. And then they forget that there was a guy with a massive imbalanced aggressive order sitting, let's say right here. And this one dips below and then goes up. And this guy's like, man, I'll short more. I'll short more. And this guy's like, okay, thank you for the liquidity. Short, short, short. And then it goes reverse. So shorting in these LVNs when they're in the middle of it is not, once they enter the gap, you don't want to short it unless you shorted the extreme, which we talked about last night as well. If you're shorting above the value area, you're a seller that has an advantageous price to sell. Well, if the price is below value area low and not too far from it, what do you think other people would do below the value area low that's not too far from that value?
We're buying.
They can buy back, right? And are they far from the previous 2-day balance?
No.
So take a look here. Let me just not extend this guy. I'll hide the PVP. So this is our 2-day balance that we were in before, correct? Right here is the high.
Yes.
Here's the low. Are we out of it?
Nope.
Guys,
No, we did back in.
we're not out of it. This can be a really massive trap. I
We
said
peeked
yesterday
out and back in.
I expected a sell-off. I was more bearish than bullish, but now I'm more bullish than bearish. Unless, right, tomorrow is a binary day, right? You have NFP, I believe tomorrow. Is that correct, Bean? Yeah.
No, NFP on Friday.
Oh, NFP. Well, tomorrow is jobless claims. So
Yeah, tomorrow main data is aftermarket. Apple, Amazon, and Meta results.
and you have short-term auction and mortgage rate. So let's see what we do tomorrow. If you see tomorrow at open, just think value, that we're not cracking this level here. What does that mean?
We want to go higher.
That they're finding value in the previous 2-day value. Is there a chance, right? We have the mafia from Twitter that looks at this as what?
Head and
Head
Head
shoulders.
and shoulders.
Shoulders, so they're gonna anticipate this, right? And there's nothing better to fuel a higher run when you come up to here and they short and their stop loss is here. What do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna push it to this, so you buy. Then you're like, oh man, I see a fair value gap right here. And you're like, I'm a short right here. And then it becomes a really massive short cover rally and it goes to all-time highs. And like I said a few weeks back, a lot of these points that we've had recently were driven by short cover rallies, people turning too short. And then, being weak sellers, a strong seller, you would not be able to get him to cover because his stop loss was either higher or he had a plan that was, covered well or hedged. So he could afford more points to be lost. A lot of people, professionals that trade futures, they also hedge with SPX, right? That was the whole purpose of SPX. Okay. So for me, this is key. Like this area is really, really important. And then the 93, if they reclaim this and during the RTH, they hold this. If they do this during the RTH, do not try to short this. And you're going to see that they can definitely do this and, break this, reverse it. The only thing when you look at this on ES, look at the volume today. I don't know if you guys paid attention, but that's this volume here, it speaks volume, right? It's pretty massive. Like compared to what we've had recently, just think about it. This is the biggest volume we've had since the October. Okay, this one's bigger here, December 13th, right here. So bigger volume and it has smaller candle, right? But this is the second biggest volume we've had, I guess, in 24. And I wrote to you guys about this day. What did I say on this day here? Was this the second lowest volume we had in 2024?
Yeah,
Right here.
correct.
Yeah. It was the second lowest volume and you still managed to put in a higher high and a higher low. It didn't make sense, right? And when we were breaking out, right, we did not break out of that balance with volume. And therefore, when you don't break, remember what we talked about in the class? When you're breaking out, the only confirmation you have is the volume. And I warned you guys, when we do break out, did I mention last night, when you come to see POC, you want to see uptick in volume. You guys recall that last night? Or the night before, whenever it happened? You guys remember that or no?
Yes.
I mentioned
Yeah.
if you come to CPOC, you really, really need to see volume uptick, especially, you have FMOC, you want to make sure that volume gets cracked. Well, when you come here during the RTH, right? How much time did they spend above CPOC?
Barely any.
Not at all. I mean, just go on 15 minutes. They came here, they hit it. And of course, this was, I believe, the news that drove it up and then quick return and complete it all the way down. So now when you think about value, right? And you see here, what happened to the value so far for this week, right? We're 3 days in. Is this bearish?
No.
If they pull this in, this is not bearish. What's going to happen is this one is going to shift maybe somewhere here, if depending on how the volume is. But this could set up a pretty wide double distribution, right? If they start building value here, which they can, this is going to be a massive engulfing on the value areas. So what it's going to cause is that means that there's other participants that are involved here. Somebody must have sold above the value area high, and these people responded, and after hours they're buying here. So I know it's after hours, but if they're able to push this and hold during RTH, maybe we're back in balance. Right? So right now, on the current developing week, we are below the balance, right? But right now, you're pretty much in the range of the prior week. You're right here, right? And this is, they managed to bring it back inside and they're holding it. So honestly, I know this, this was an exciting day, a sell-off, but, we should have closed at the lows like here and not have any, I would say, pullback like this. I mean, this is pretty good, 20 points back. So now it's important that they don't spend much time here. They need to spend eventually. Where would you want them to go? If you think about this, what I drew here, where would you want them to be?
In the POC of that range.
If you're bearish, where do you want them to go?
Break 49.16.
Say it again.
Break this, little green area, 49.16, that zone. Sorry, not 49, 48.16. Yeah.
48.16. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big level. So, but what we need them to shift the value. If the value from here shifted up, same thing we did in this box, right? If this was our value before, just think logically here. If this was our value before, we went above and we didn't like it, well, we tested the bottom. Well, if this was our value area, we broke above. What if we don't like it? What should happen now? If you're bearish, where do you want them to build value?
Below 48.
Broke above, and then
They need to crack this level, just like we needed them to crack this level. They need to move this level, and they need to build value here, and then they're going to disagree, and then they're going to go back to this level, right? And then they would just continue so on, and I think we have some levels, I would say a little bit below this, right? I think we set 700 points or something last night. I forgot, 300 points. So this is the first level that we have in this cluster, and then so on. But right now, everything is about, do you crack this 48.78 tomorrow? If you're holding this and you reclaim the value area low, then it's a big deal. Very big deal. And on 30 minutes, I can imagine type of shenanigans with single prints they did.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Say we open obviously below, say we open below 48.93. On the test of that, you would short that, right?
If we open below it, like how far below do you open? Do you open below this or no?
Um,
I mean, if I'm opening right here in the middle, I'm not gonna short that.
right. Yeah, I'm saying more, closer to 78.
If we come to 78, this is potentially a good short, yes. But if you see any weakness that they're just tapping slowly inside, I would have I would have my worries that they're gonna reclaim that and start building higher. And you could definitely, at that point, I would say you want to use at least some order flow to see what exactly is happening, right?
We're already up at 82.
Got it. Thank you.
Let me look at this daily here. Yeah, look where they bounced so far. I mean, you have basically no volume here. If you guys think about it, there's no volume between these nodes, and this is the last Just like we bounced earlier, remember on 70 when we said, you know, Free said that's a big node. Here's this one. Not a very large node, and I don't even know, maybe go 3 here around, something like that. Once you lose that, then I mean, you're entering a lot of low volume. There's imbalances here somewhere, and our job is to find them.
Shorty, wouldn't, um, if we were gonna reject, wouldn't, like around 48.88 be a good rejection? Because I think they had like a late spike, if I'm correct, looking,
It was at 3 o'clock.
it was the L time.
Hold on, I'm trying to
Maybe
get it
that's
up
not.
here.
Maybe
Yeah, that
maybe
was
that's
L.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was verified, right? The
Okay.
M period never retraced back, so this is your single prints, right? This is your, is this bullish or bearish
Yep.
single? Anyway,
That's pretty bullish.
Bearish, no?
these are bearish, guys. We're going down and we're leaving. That means that there was emotional sellers. They did not spend much time here. So now, if you're a bear, which level can you not lose from footprints perspective?
The top.
87.50.
96?
95. You're a
Yep.
bear. This is your last resort.
Very low.
So now here's how you're going to remember this. Just to open your ears. I'm going to change this a little bit so you guys can see it. Because a lot of you guys, I feel it seems like you guys have dyslexia, not me. So let's say this is still single prints here. So if you look here, you have 2 distributions, right? This one has 3 TPOs wide, which is not a lot. This one has a lot, right? I don't even know, maybe 8. But in between, there's single prints. And that's what I said in the class on market profile. Double distributions have to be divided by single prints, right? And you treat this almost as two separate days, right? The value area on this one is here somewhere. If you're to calculate it, take it, count 72% levels, you could find it, right? You could also find it based on volume. But then it's separated by single prints, and these single prints were coming in a downtrend. So if you want to be accepted in an upper distribution of this day, you want to start where the base started, where the selling started. So if you can claim this level here, then you become accepted where?
To the other value area.
In the top distribution, top value area. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So let's see. All right, so that's that. How's the access? I mean, it's not like it's not there. So this is your last 30 minutes. So based on TPO, if you're a bear, what do you need to see before you short?
Need to see them spend time below that 80, that excess low.
Yeah, they need to absorb this, right? They need to work on absorbing this guy right here. That's other time frame buyer. And then if you think about N, right? Let's switch to, I really love this feature. I don't know if you guys got used to it, but this is pretty nice. So this is our, you know, the M period, right? And M period low is somewhere sitting right here. So that, when did the excess come? In this case here, it came where? This was the M period, right? So where should you guys consider the excess here?
The middle of that end period
This is
or the bottom of that candle. Sorry.
Okay. Anyone else? Where did we close on the bottom? Did we close on the bottom?
Yeah, the close of the end period.
I mean, it's literally right here. You don't have much, right? When you think about it, this period here, this is selling that came in. M period went what? Did it make lower low or did it reclaim back? All this, I mean, this is, yeah, it made a lower low. It never reclaimed back. The candle closed here. So the settle price probably closed, let's see, somewhere here. Let's see, close price.
Shorty, what did you select to make it look like that?
Split by blocks.
Okay,
Under
thanks.
settings, CPO, yep. So we close right here, right? That's the kind of the high of this candle, but that's the end period, right? So the close is here. They went as high as that. I don't care about where they went in the end period, and that's TradingView's fault. So you don't really have an access on on the bottom here. It looks a little bit misleading, but do you guys see that? This is the end period. This is your access here. That's like right here, tiny. So somebody, when I asked, where's your access? What did you say? You said we need to absorb all of that, and nobody's like, okay, well, you guys are looking at end period, and it was in the blocks, and nobody's correcting that. It's interesting.
Is that because you're looking at it from the perspective of 4 p.m. close and not like the
cash correct
4:15 that the futures
Yeah.
give you or whatever?
Yeah, the settle price, right? So the access is there, but it's not really. They came in after hours, right? And if you go by volume, let's just put volume. This? Maybe, right? We'll find out tomorrow.
I guess when you look at it on SPY, you can see that there was really no excess.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
close that low day.
I mean, look, this is.
Yeah, SPY 4245. Just look at that instant bar.
This is a strong bearish candle. It's a very bearish candle here. Full body candle with minimal. It's actually even bearish on the top with secret supply. So does it make sense? There was a trap for you guys there, and a lot of you fell for it. Ninja Trader does not have that, so you guys should be okay there. If you guys use it there. And you can also change it in toss. If you use toss, you can change it. Where you don't see the extension hours. Okay. All right, well, as long as we're holding, and I don't know, let's see, where are we? Well, okay. So they're coming up to a fairly important level for shorting, which I might be interested to see how we react to it, and I might check some deltas just to see actually what's happening here. Because initially here, I know this is just after hours, but you see that there's a little bit of access here, and they're absorbing it right now. So if they're able to close this in 1 minute here, it's be an interesting next candle, and here goes, starts. So now if it can build higher here, don't be shocked to hit here. This might be potentially a decent scalp level coming up. So anyone confused what I would play tomorrow? Your plan, how would you, if we reclaim this HVN on the bottom, right? And I also highlighted this during the class, right? And you can highlight the heart of this one right here. Doesn't have to be the whole HVN. We are above this HVN. So if we spend time here, just be an artist, right? If you spend a lot of time and volume here, what happens to the volume profile?
It's gonna build a bigger shelf there.
Yeah,
And then you will have a
double distribution.
Double distribution.
And then I always said, if you reclaim one of these, there's a high chance you're gonna visit the top of it, right? You crack this, in this case, I would say we're gonna break and go to all-time highs again. So you have to be a little bit nimble tomorrow and how you perceive the market. Like today, market gave you a little bit of clues, right? There's quite a few traps, I would say, based on what I saw. But they gave you clues. Once they cracked that 16, 17, right? And they didn't spend a lot of time above it. So when you think about the fair price, equilibrium, right? If this is here and the fair price is here, and you're finding a lot of, this is $10 and this is 9 here, and you're not finding any buyers at 11, what would you do? So you're selling product, this is $10, and you're accepting a $9 here. There's a lot of people buying here, right? A couple of times they dipped lower. Let's say they went to, 8, 7. They went 2 levels below and they had some auction here. Okay. Well, if the auction slows down at this level and there's no one bidding 11 for whatever you're selling, what do I have to do? Where does this fair price go? Where does the value shift?
Down.
Down.
Down, we sell off until we find buyers. We, when we auction higher, we do it to stop the buying. When you auction lower, you auction to stop the selling. Okay, as of right now, they're finding value inside, this weekly range. So it can be a perfect storm, perfect trap for them to run. Okay. I'll be live tomorrow. I'm not gonna shy away from tomorrow, but today, I've traded, news events for a while. And the one rule that I add is either I minimize to the, bare bones or I don't trade it. And I know a lot of you guys, and this is just something I do, this is the rule I have, but a lot of you guys will try to trade the FMOC, and here's the 2 things that happen. One, you make money, right? Somebody's mic has a lot of static. You make money, you hit the trade, you catch 50 points on NQ, and you feel confident, you hit it with 2 contracts. Okay. Next FMOC comes in, you're like, man, I made whatever, let's say $1,000 on this, and a lot of people say the seconds they make it in, so it's 12 seconds. So your brain starts registering, oh, I made $1,000 in 12 seconds. It was very rewarding, 0 risk, because you never felt the risk. The trade was 12 seconds. So now you're like, man, I'm gonna go 10 contracts. Typical human behavior. When their account goes by $1,000, they increase their size by 500%. Okay.
So Shorty, I don't know where that the static's coming from. Nobody's mic is on, but I can hear it too. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me drop and call back, or?
I mean, you're almost done, right?
Yeah, I'm almost done.
I would just finish it out.
Yeah. So next FMOC, you made 1,000, 12 seconds, you increase the contracts, and just like this trade was 12 seconds, it doesn't go in your favor. And this can work like this, where it's, first time and second time. Believe me or not, the bigger problem is when you hit it 3 times in a row. You hit the FMOC 3 times in a row. What do you think happens every time you hit it? Now you're like, man, I figured it out. I know the formula, what they're doing. And then you push in a little bit more chips, right, on your bet. And then people are like, yeah, I had profit, even though you're lucky trading, gambling, and establishing habits that are not sustainable for your trading career. You cannot trade this. So when I took this and it's like, okay, there's no reason for me to trade it. When I look at the charts, I'm inclined to make a trade. If I see something, I'm inclined to take it. And, even if I say I'm stopped, I'm sharing with you guys. I see it and I'm like, damn it. I would take this, so I will take it. But on the binary days, man, it can really ruin you as a trader and start forming really bad habits. Because then eventually you're going to see everything else as a binary and no plan. Because this you can hit sell and buy on these FMOC, and I promise, people probably you can make 20, 30K on a trade if you have a decent sized account. But that's gambling. So it takes you, let's say, 2 months to make 30K or 5 months to make 30K, and then you blow it up in 12 seconds. I mean, I'm not sure why people are not convinced not to trade or just look at the charts or walk away, do something. I went to see a friend that's supposedly 30 minutes away from me. It took me 2 hours to get back home. So, okay, does that at least give you an idea of why FMOC or binary are not my favorite?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So hopefully a
Yeah,
lot of
very
you
true.
guys calm down on this, because as a profession, ask any trader that trades professionally for a living, would he trade FMOC with style and positioning same as regular day or trade at all? Just ask any of them. Most of them will say no, because think about it, they work hard for the money they make. And why would I gamble when I have a system and strategy where I can make money consistently? And that's what makes a difference between people that grow and people that don't. People that want something instantly, they want to become millionaires, they want to become doctors overnight. No, it takes time, right? You build one block at a time, and that's what you should be doing in trading. Little wins, little wins, little wins, and then repeatable process, increase the size, same percentage on the profits, right? So, I mean, everybody has a different style. Maybe some people, maybe they're billionaires off gambling on trades like this, but I haven't met them. Okay, all right, guys.
Makes sense.
I'll write this up, and then I'll post the levels that I have below. I have some here. Most likely you want to find the POC of this area. It'll be really, really good for you, and it's sitting right here. 4811. I'd make sure that that level is somewhat engraved in your head. And then the next one would be around 550. What is 45, 42 that we had? $67. Yeah, I had 42.
I got a question, Shorty. I
Sure.
mean, we had a 7 billion MOC, which is pretty big at the end of the day here. We also have a negative 35K on the cumulative delta left over or so from the day. And I'm seeing certain people online, whatnot, basically saying they're liquidating their position because the fear of Fed raising rates equals 50% drop in the market.
Well,
Mentality.
exactly. So, I mean, think about if you're a big boy and you made decent profits. Think about it. We went from 4140 to 4900. And
Right.
now here comes J Powell, and he's like going to make a decision that I could take that 900 points to half.
Mm-hmm.
You have, I mean, just, do you guys know what's one contract valued? Anyone know? What is the contract value right now? Does anyone know?
For ES, it's around 13,000.
Okay. Anyone else?
The index value into 50.
The value of the
4,892.
That's the
4,000.
margin required for the contract. If a full
Okay.
contract is worth, you take the number you have, 4885, you multiply, how much is 1 point in ES?
50.
1250.
50. So, okay. So if you take, let me see if okay, there's a calculator. If you take 4885 times 50, this is your contract that you're trading. So when you guys take 10 contracts, somebody like Drew, your notional value is $2.4 million in the market.
I don't take 10 contracts.
Yeah, you used to. You got better.
No,
So
I
think
didn't.
about this. Let's see if there's 1,000 people and they do that. Let's say they take 10 contracts each. Right? So we had 244. Let's round it up. So 2.4 million, correct? And let's say there's
you said 1,000 of them. Yep.
1,000 of them.
Yeah.
There's 1,000 of really good traders that take 10 piece trades like peanut butter. Like they just 10 pack, 10 pack, 20 pack. So when you see some deltas, right, that are fairly big, so we just found 1,000 with 10 pack, I can assure you that liquidity is probably higher than 1,000 people trading 10 pack. So now when you think about, you know, looking at these deltas, looking at the volume, is this the highest volume that we've seen on a sell-off on a daily? On aggression, I would say no. We saw 59 last year. Right. So this is not as, I would say it's not as aggressive, but it checks out, right? The volume doubled, right? The delta went up, what, by 60 something like that. It jumped much more, right? But now when you think about it, look at where we are. If you think about this day right here, pay attention to this day right here. Why is this day somewhat important?
It breaks out of the previous range.
Yeah, this was our breakout candle, and we said we need to find where's the imbalance here. Did we not say that our job is to find where the imbalance is? Well, we have a few, right? We have a few imbalances, and there's a massive one where?
Right up top there where we touched, and then yeah, down in the middle there.
So you have a POC that's sitting. I would say this is your level, because look at the volume at the top. This is pretty massive volume here. And look where we bounced, right? So if I'm a bear, right, from the delta standpoint, I really need to see us break below the 66, right? Because I wouldn't want to mess around, or let's say a little bit. You could go higher, but I'll be okay with this level. If you're able to break this, where do you see next stop?
POC of the previous range.
POC of this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about this candle alone here?
Oh, the single prints? Yeah.
Okay, there's a little bit of imbalance there. Nothing, you know, it's not a stack. It's just, this is called a single imbalance, right? I would say it's minimum, what, at least 3 to 1. Right, so there's an imbalance there. Just kind of scan the candle. I think I have different settings here. And then you see the pretty big volume here, right? There's some HVN. And then pay attention to, I added something here. What's happening here? Do you think they're selling here?
That's 40. That's the
aggressive buying for sure.
Wasn't that
prior day? It was the prior all-time high.
Exactly. So they brought in. Did they bring in volume?
Yeah, to break it.
Yeah.
They brought a lot of volume. And then when you think about this, remember when we said if we dip inside the 40, I don't know who's going to remember, we said the 35 level has a huge delta. Not too long ago. I'm not sure if it was Sunday or not, but look at the delta size right here.
That's massive. Yeah.
We said 1,000 people, 10 pack, but this happened in split seconds, guys. So somebody had an intention to buy this, right? Yep. So therefore, this delta becomes very, very important. And when you just zoom out a little bit, right? Look at how many big deltas do you see below that, like that are massive like this on buying. So there's some here. I don't know if this is I believe that's a candle, and that one has quite a bit. Yeah, that one has 15,000.
POC, right?
Yep, that's your POC. So besides POC, this is
what's your date on the left? What are you time period are you looking at?
This is from January 2nd.
But the delta
full chart
data.
range.
Oh, okay, chart. Okay.
Yeah. Full chart. So now you can see, like, okay, well, if this POC is pretty big here. That's 47.85, and I'm pretty sure if you take the cumulative of this one, that we're gonna be somewhere around there, right? And boom, which makes sense. So a lot of it happened here. A lot of buying happened here. A lot of aggression that was initiated here was there. So now think if you want to make traps, what can you do to people here? But you could do a lot of damage here, right? You know, they come in here, they didn't want to sell over here. While these people we talked about on the weekly profile, if we get inside the new balance and we go back to the bottom, right, where we said that we broke out from, think about the damage you could do in this area, like coming in here. You could do a lot of traps. You're breaking this level and then you're entering, you know, some delta levels that are pretty massive. I wouldn't ignore 47.86. And that happens to be, you know, even volume, right? If you go in here, it's 48.11, and that 47.86 happens to be somewhere around here. And usually delta like that, it's going to be accumulation of a really thick volume node, and I would say this one's pretty wide. So they crack this, right? Everybody will pay attention to 48.11 as well. But they crack that. Don't think that they can't bounce this from here and go higher. But at this point, it's the same setup they had, just reverse. Right now, well, actually, they did a trap here. Let's see if this is the same trap as this one. So be very nimble tomorrow. Opening tomorrow is going to be crucial, right? So I would encourage you guys to pay attention to it. So okay. All right, guys. Well, I will see you guys tomorrow morning.
All right, see you in the morning.
See you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you
sure.
guys. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Rodney.
Good night, guys.
Good night, everyone.